Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trail Mix, where the nuts might be a little stale, but the company is always fresh.
Gather round the Festivus pole, extruded in the days of old. Shiny grey and very long, aluminum so light and strong.
Craig Crawford here, working for nothing but Social Security checks and the truth. And we got our friends Jamie and Stir. You both there?
Yo.
I'm here now.
This is what Pat D had on for us on Trail Mix first this morning, this Festivus song.
I put up the clip for the source of how Festivus was created.
Yeah, tell us more. I was a little busy. I didn't actually read it.
Yeah, it was cute.
How was it created? I really don't know anything about it.
On Seinfeld, what's his name's dad? Bill created it for all of the people who didn't want to celebrate Christmas. And you had the four things. What was it? The airing of grievances and the altercations and four different ways with your silver pole. And
I remember that from Seinfeld, but I didn't realize that's all it came from. I actually thought it was a real thing beyond Seinfeld.
No,
I think it was Stiller's
in Seinfeld.
What was that?
But it was based on the writer's childhood.
Oh.
Yeah, the writer is Stiller. I heard Stiller had something.
Yeah.
Oh, Stiller, you mean?
Yeah, because
he had something.
It was based on his childhood, and he wrote that episode about how it came about from his dad.
Now your avatar here, Stir, is Jamie thought it was an outhouse, but you're saying it's a garage.
Yeah, when you look closely, you can see the car parked in there.
Oh, okay.
Rather than a person parked in there.
Yeah, that's it. Those are brick blocks, terracotta blocks salvaged from the Navy Yard.
Huh. Oh. Well, here's what we got going on among many other things is I guess we've just lost CBS, folks. I used to work there, I worked for CBS for 4 years.
Well, CBS may lose all of their employees if they keep it up.
Yeah. Well, that might be exactly what they want. to replace them with their own.
Well, what bothers me is all of my favorite dramas are on CBS. Otherwise, I'd dump Paramount Plus, but I can't. Virtually everything I watch during the evening is on there.
Really? Well, all of us, we all grew up on 60 Minutes, and nothing lasts forever. But I don't see. Like you say, I think the strong journalists are just going to be driven out, and they'll be replaced by the people like this woman who pulled this stunt of killing.
A new president comes in, and look at all the crap he's going to have to undo.
I mean, I was thinking about that. A new president's going to have to spend 6 months just undoing everything.
I mean, the latest thing with Trump naming stuff is ships. That a whole new class of Trump ships, which is ridiculous. They're supposed to be named after heroes and great battles.
And the thing is, the military experts, I mean, he's been talking about this going back to the rally speeches about this. He's been upset. This isn't new. I mean, I saw this coming, this idea that he wants these gigantic destroyer class new generation. And the military experts, going back to when I was reading about it then, they all are saying that's it's just a silly waste of money. That's not the kind of Navy that we need going forward.
Right.
We actually need a lot of smaller ships that are more mobile and quick to move around, and also drone ships. They're unmanned naval ships is the imperative more than just as it is in aviation and the Air Force. I mean, so
Yeah, to put up, maybe a carrier if you wanted to fly planes off of them to somewhere. But like you say, a drone ship, which would be much smaller, it's probably more practical.
well, and speaking of naming things, I like the Wall Street Journal this morning, the Donald J. Trump Center for Everything. Only Congress has the authority to rename the Kennedy Center. They actually, this editorial picked up on something I hadn't seen. I had looked at the underlying law that created the Kennedy Center, and it's just no question that that law makes it clear only Congress can change the name. But then the Wall Street Journal went further and looked at the law that sets up the governing board of Kennedy Center, and it gives them no authority to change.
Right.
So you
They
got
have
two
no
ways.
standing. It's strictly Congress.
And then you got what Pat D tossed on the other day is then there's a statute on desecration of federal monuments.
Yeah, that one. What was the cartoon with replacing Lincoln's head with Trump's head?
Yeah. See my hat?
Oh, your Imus hat.
It's not only Imus, it's also MSNBC. So I got two defunct organizations there. One guy's dead, and the other one's and MSNBC's gone. So
I stood up so everybody can see my new moose robe.
oh, I like that. Now, how did you've gone from owls to moose, or?
No, this was a result of my son going to Alaska, and he discovered this store called Lazy Something. I actually, for the first time in my life, put up a suggestion for people to go shopping because this thing is, you would not believe how warm it is and how well made. And it's got a hood and a nice thick but lightweight blanket material, and they come in all sorts of different designs. They have bear and moose and no owls though, or I would have gotten an owl one.
We got a commenter here, Mikey Gamer. Hello, he says hi, Mikey. Tell us about yourself. Come on here and talk to us if you want. I'll put the link on. Stir, what are you up to?
Hi. Yeah.
What are you up to, Stir?
Just hanging out.
Are you in you down south or up north?
Up north.
Yeah, I boiled eggs this morning because I have to make deviled eggs for tomorrow.
Oh, what did I see the other day about how to make hard boiled eggs? Are really easy.
Make them easy peeling.
Yeah, I made note of it.
Oh shoot, baking soda method.
Oh, I don't know. I no. I don't remember. I made a note of it somewhere to try it because.
Yeah, you can boil them. You can put some baking soda in the water, which I forgot to do this morning, and that's supposed to make them easier to peel.
Mikey Gamer.
Yeah, he may have departed with just a little hi.
Hi. Now, what I had on here also, let's see, is now what we can do is get back to the 60 minutes segment on the mega prison in El Salvador, where we paid them $6 billion to torture people. The 60 Minutes did the whole story on this. They got a lot of new information. They've got names of the 200 and almost 300 Venezuelans that were sent to that prison, and found out 75% of them had no criminal record. Now you can argue about whether their violation of immigration laws qualifies them as a criminal, but that's the only thing that they had on their record. And anyway, 60 Minutes did a whole big story on it, got a lot of new information. It was killed. It was supposed to air Sunday. And then the new person in charge, Barry Weiss, from conservative media background, hired by the new owners at Paramount, Ellison, the owner of that, the billionaire conservative, she kills the story. And then yesterday, our friend Jamie right here, you found a link. I wanted to ask you, how did you get that link? It was Instagram. I saw you posted it. It was a link to the actual spiked segment by CBS.
Oh, over on Blue Sky.
And that's where you found it?
Yeah, someone had posted, said that they had found it leaked. And when you look on it, you can see somebody is like filming it off of their TV set.
At the very end, the guy gets up to turn off his machine and everything. You see like the back of it. You see his butt. You see his butt at the end of it.
Right, as you go across. But so apparently somebody leaked it. Somebody put it on a DVD, played it on their TV, and filmed the TV.
Yeah.
So
when I saw that, when you
got
treated
posted all over Blue Sky.
Yeah, and when I saw that, I went immediately there, and I have a system I figured out I can download anything, any videos on Instagram or anything really. And so I downloaded that video to my desktop, and then I uploaded it to YouTube because I figured, I've learned before on other stuff, I grab those things as quickly as I can, things that might be copyrighted or whatever, because I figured they're going to get slammed, throttled at some point, so I'll just get my own copy. So I put it on YouTube, and it lasted, and I thought, I wonder how long it'll last. And sure enough, about an hour after I put it on YouTube, Paramount swoops in and blocks the video.
I saw that for copyrighted reasons.
And this is what it said. And so I had a plan if that happened, because I expected it might. So then what I did was I had to compress the video because it was so huge. And so then I uploaded it to our Trail Mix server. So now I have it on our Trail Mix server where you can actually see it, watch it, and at trailmix.cc, which I put on here, trailmix.cc. Anybody that wants to can go watch the actual 60-minute segment if they haven't already. And
Paramount's going to be really busy if they try and sue everybody that has a website or blog or anything.
So this is where it is right now on trailmix.cc. And anybody can go watch that. The reason I'm doing it this way is because we're on YouTube right now. Yeah. And I've learned from the past, anything copyrighted that we show on here ends up getting blocked. So if we watch the video right now ourselves together, YouTube's going to wind up blocking it. And
but we can all go off and watch it on our own sites.
so all anybody has to do is come here to this trailmix.cc and click that video right there. You can even enlarge it, and I'll play here about 2 seconds.
Trivago.
It starts with a Trivago, but like you said, this guy was playing it.
You may recall earlier.
And I'll stop there so we don't get slammed. But this is the world we live in, trying to get real information now. I think that's wild what we had to go through on this for something that we used to take for granted, a 60-minute segment. I've got a barcode up there in the top left corner, even. That barcode, anybody knows how to use barcodes, you can click that with your camera, and that'll take you straight to the page we were just looking at where the video is, where the 60 minutes video is. So that's the whole story. That's the whole backstory on that.
Yeah, and then there was the judge who said that all of them were denied due process and that they had to get them all back, except, as you said, most of them had already been released as part of that prisoner trade with Venezuela.
Right. Which is a pattern with these guys. I mean, I see this in case after case. It's also deliberate. Is they figure, well, a judge didn't go, we're going to do that. I mean, let's just make it real generic. It was like, okay, we're going to do this illegal thing, and the judges are going to tell us we can't do it. So we're going to do it really, really fast and get at whatever we want to do. We're going to do it. And by the time the court tells us we can't do it, we will have already done it. And we've seen that over and over. I mean, even like the Kennedy Center, it's illegal. Everybody knows it. Some court's going to tell them they can't do it, but nope, they've already got it on the building. They put his name up there.
Which is, my opinion of this man started out really, really low back in the apprentice days, long before there was ever the ride down the elevator. And it's just gone deeper and deeper into hatred ever since. I mean, talk about people who had absolutely no business being elected president and how many people he had to delude to get there.
So I'm there with you. So I guess we all have what they keep calling the Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh, I've been called that now regularly by people that on the right that I used to have good relationships with. They're all telling me I'm suffering from TDS.
Right. That they get their talking points, and that's one of them. And but I love this cartoon that I think Pat found. It's like it really. So I mean, that's the MAGA people are the deranged ones.
That convention that they just had with the huge split between the racists and the ones that are trying to stay relatively sane Republicans.
Well, yeah, they really the main split is over support for Israel, apparently, I guess. But yeah, the racism stuff too. I mean, J.D. Vance, what was his line in his speech at that thing in Phoenix, a turning point, where he said, no longer do white people have to apologize for being white. I don't know what he's
But then there's also his statement about anyone that calls his wife's name
can eat shit.
Yeah, and it's like, pick a side, guy.
Yeah.
Are you opposed to racism or anti-Semitism? I mean, they are all scrambled up. Who do you want to hate today?
Yeah. Well, W. Jack's in the house.
Oh, we're assholes. Okay.
Oh, you reading the comments?
Yeah, John Bain.
Oh,
we are all assholes.
You got here just as soon as Jack arrives. Look at here. We got this comment, Jack. You are assholes.
Well,
how's that? Happy morning. Happy morning to you.
It takes one to know one.
Yeah, that's a thought through response there.
Well, some people don't have enough brain cells to really put these thoughts together.
Well,
I have diminished capacity myself some days, so I can understand where they're at.
Yeah, we got Stir got him an avatar here that's a outhouse disguised as a garage.
Oh, that's who that is.
Did you I think I might have told my outhouse story when I was a kid. This is real. I really thought my relatives who had an outhouse were rich, because my attitude was, if you've got enough money to have a separate house for your bathroom, then you're a pretty big deal.
That's right.
Better than indoor plumbing, huh?
Oh.
We went home. I told my parents, I think we should get our own outside bathroom. That's fancy.
I can remember growing up, we had an outhouse, and it was.
I
would say what? It's the hottest place in the summer and the coldest place in the winter.
Yeah, I bet that's true.
So you just. When I went to college, I had a roommate who would spend hours in the bathroom on the stool. And I just never could understand that, because, man, I was trained to go in, get your job done, and get out.
Yeah, I had one uncle who had a raisin ranch in Selma, California. And that was when I saw my first outhouse.
Oh, we got a commenter from the Philippines.
Hi there.
Tina Bueva. Hello, Philippines. Tell us what's happening in the Philippines. I've got the link here if you want to join us.
Well, you're getting a worldwide audience here.
Jack, I'm at that elderly stage where if I get an idea, I really need to write it down if it's going to be something I have to come back to later, because otherwise I won't remember what the idea was that I had to come back to later.
I'm quickly catching up with you on that one.
Yeah, it's not that I don't.
My problem is walking across, going from one end of the house to the other to do something, and getting at the other end of the house, trying to remember what it was I was going to do.
Well, and then there's the whole issue of word retention.
My son and I have this thing going on, because of course he's in his 60s and I'm beginning my 80s, where we'll be talking to each other and one or the other of us will hit that glitch where there's a word that that you should be able to get into.
You would expect from the White House.
Yeah.
It's expressing the president's position, but it didn't.
I see they're talking about the 60 Minutes thing on CNN right now.
Added to the 60 Minutes story. So that's the crux of
it. It aired in Canada.
Ever decides to air the report.
Yeah.
Can you
Brian Salter,
can you
thank
promote
you so much.
a program any better
And
than
coming up, the
CBS
Justice
did
Department
this
just
one?
released more Epstein files, but Epstein survivors want transparency.
Well, what happened with this Canada thing is really very, very interesting. Is the thing about these fascists is that they're still getting up to speed on how to suppress information. They didn't quite figure out that they distribute 60 Minutes globally, and so they stopped the broadcast in the U.S., but not in Canada.
Oh, is that how it got out?
So somebody forgot to flip the switch on Canada. And that video that you got, Jamie, that you saw first, that I grabbed yesterday, which is the one that I posted here on Trail Mix, is you can see there's a little bug in the bottom, a little label or logo in the bottom of it, which I didn't recognize. And somebody told me that it's a Canadian television station. So that was my first clue. And I thought, well, that's strange. How did this end up? Anyway, so that's the story, is it got out in Canada. People recorded it, like the guy that that whose recording we're using it, and it got distributed. So if you're gonna, it's like Keith Olbermann said, that maybe Barry Weiss, the executive who made this call to kill the story, maybe she needs to learn a little something about TV, if she's going to be suppressing TV shows.
Yeah, but we all learned that about movies. If you put up a whole bunch of people protesting in front of the theater, the movie becomes a hit.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Right.
that
happened with Monty Python.
Yeah.
It's the old Nixon thing. It's not the crime that gets the attention, it's the cover-up.
I remember when The Last Temptation of Christ was getting protested everywhere under the sun, and now it's one of the things you can see easiest on streaming.
And Monty Python, the one that was a takeoff
Life
on
of Brian.
The Life of Brian. The Catholic Church boycotted that in the U.S. and I've heard John Cleese talk about how that movie just skyrocketed after all those protests, and a lot of theaters refused to show it, but still, it just took off.
I found it.
Stanley send out free Trump rallies real? I don't know what that means.
Send out free Trump. I don't know. I think maybe there's a missing noun or. What did you say, Stir? Stir said something.
Oh, I found it. The Life of Brian.
What about it?
Well, it was at theaters.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't at all theaters, but like
No.
you said, some people were banning it or not showing it.
Yeah.
But I found
And I remember
you were all individuals.
I was in DeLand for at college, and our local theater banned it. That was supposed to show it, it didn't. But we drove to Orlando, which is an hour away, and we were able to watch it there. But we were determined to watch it because of all the news about it being banned.
Well, I had to see it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great movie. And that look on the bright side of life when he's on the cross and he's
I
crucified.
like you are all individuals.
Right. Yeah, oh, that speech is fantastic. We are all individuals. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. They made fun of almost everybody in that movie.
Yes.
Whether you're right wing, left wing, or centrist, or whatever silliness you were.
It was
No,
George Harrison that made that film possible.
Yeah.
Is that right? George Harrison.
He financed it, a good part of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I heard that. It was.
Oh, and things that brought up news that had me go hunting was the whole comment about not ashamed to be white anymore and how we were founded as a Christian nation. So, of course, I had to go back and find the first synagogue from the 1600s. And so I looked to see if any signers were Jewish, and they weren't, but they paid for it. They named a man, Saul something or other, who actually financed the revolution before the French got in.
And I can't think of his name. Levi. It was the guy who bought Monticello after Jefferson died. This kind of nut job bought it and was starting to mess with it, and before he could do too much, this guy Levi, who was very
came in and bought it out and restored it. Yeah,
he bought it and saved it, and his generations after that, of his descendants, saved Monticello, or we wouldn't have it today. I mean, because they kept it from being.
And he had to fight for ages to bury his mother on the property, even though she had died there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
so she is now in the Jefferson Cemetery.
Now we got Sandra How are you? We are fine, Sandra. Talk to us. Come back and get online. All right. And then we got Much.
We're calm.
Oh Lordy. How do we pronounce that? I'm good. Oh, here we go. This is a lovely, calm stream. Well, I agree with that. Although I really need some help with that. Muichirio Tokito. Okay. Anyway.
Well, we're definitely different.
Yes.
We're
We discuss hot politics quietly.
well, I think it's the fact that we're all old. You know, it's just too much trouble to get radical.
It's like the logo I came up with for my plain thoughts videos is room temperature truth. You know, with my dentures, I'm still struggling with two S's. Truth. That's about the only thing I got left. That's the worst. Learning how to talk again with dentures is a bit of it's not tough, but it's a thing.
Well, that's what I told when my dentist pulled all my front teeth were bad. And he pulled them, and before we got the dentures in, and I was speaking without them, I said it was so much easier to speak in my dialect, my Ozark dialect. I said,
really?
I wonder how much of our dialect that we learn as children is just the fact that the old folks didn't have any teeth.
Well, you know, I did learn somewhere that that's why a lot of the photographs of the older generations, you know, they look so stern and so mean. A lot of the photos that's because they never smiled because they had such terrible teeth. They didn't want to show their teeth,
or none, so that their mouths
right
caved in. You know, you had that funny look of no teeth.
Yeah.
Of course, there's also style in that too. And I look at some of the old pictures back to the late 1800s and on up, and each generation had a different style of the way they took pictures. You know, the pose they did and all that.
Does everyone remember the comedian Moms Mabley?
Oh yeah. She doesn't get her credit. What was that, Stir?
Here come the judge.
Was that hers? Here comes the
judge.
That
was no, she
was
long
it from
before
somebody else.
Yeah. No, Moms Mabley was the original because she had no teeth and that look to her.
She was actually. Did you ever see her out of her? Yeah, she was actually a pretty woman.
I think you're thinking of the lady with the price tag on her head. Hat.
No, that's somebody else. No, I'm talking about Moms Mabley when she was out of all her costuming. There's a few photographs. I saw a documentary. Well, Whoopi Goldberg made a little documentary about Moms Mabley, which was real nice. I mean, it was really interesting, and they found some old photos of her. She was kind of glamorous and off stage when she wanted to be.
I found one with her pearls and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a pretty lady.
Yeah.
Well,
but that continued.
I think all that movie, you know, those character actors and stuff, you know, they put on their costume and they did their thing and then went home and were somebody else.
Well, like Phyllis Diller was that but Phyllis Diller was she said that, you know, she discovered that she started doing stand-up at like conventions and stuff she found that the men thought she was real funny, but women did not. And what she discovered is I don't remember how she said she came up with this idea, is that if she turned herself into that, ugly character with the crazy wig and all that all of a sudden women thought she was funny.
Well, she was always talking about her husband. What did she call him?
Yeah. Bang.
Yeah.
Bang. Yeah. But Mom, getting back to Mom's Baby, she was really the forerunner. They talk about Phyllis Diller as being sort of the pioneer of women stand-up, but they kind of leave out in doing that chronology from Phyllis Diller to Joan Rivers. They kind of leave out Mom's Mabley, which is why Whoopi Goldberg did the documentary on her, because she wanted her to get her due. How did we get on that?
That's why I objected so strenuously to the complaints about DEI, that allowed people to finally see all of these history and performers and what have you that had been erased by the white history. And so when people started putting it back into history, they got all upset because it was DEI. Yeah.
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 Well, now, before we get too arrogant, to in ourselves, this person praising our stream, let's not forget this fella called us assholes.
Oh, did you see the new statue that was going in for Virginia that replaced Robert E. Lee?
Oh no, I haven't.
Oh, it's Robert E. Lee was removed by the state of Virginia. Of course, they kept Washington, and the statue, because each state gets two of them. So Robert E. Lee has now been replaced by the young girl that helped integrate the schools.
Oh, that's what that was. I read a little something this morning about that.
Are you talking about the Hall of Statues in Capitol
Yes.
Hill? Oh,
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Really?
I didn't realize that's what that was.
Yeah, that's what it is. And she's styled with her mouth open as if she were speaking in protest and holding up a book, because what she wanted was for the schools that she went to be integrated.
Yeah.
And that's the statue that has replaced Robert E. Lee. And I kept expecting the MAGAs to get all upset about that, but I guess they've learned not to make too much noise on that issue.
Well, it may not have got to their attention yet.
Well, she was just installed 2 days ago, so probably
You can
not.
only hate so much.
Yeah, you'd think you just get tired of hating after a while. You think it would just get tiresome.
Well, you've got to have a leader to tell them what to do, because they're like a sports team fan. That's all they do. They're cheering their team, and they need a cheerleader to lead them in their cheers. And so
now I wanted to get into something here that I just a minute or two of it is this Barry Weiss, this woman that killed the 60 Minutes story that everybody's been talking about. Now, she did this interview I found on the Heritage Foundation from a year or two ago. And I just want to play a couple of minutes of this and see if you can figure out what she's talking about. Because I was trying to get an understanding of where this woman's coming from, and she's got some kind of beef against elite media that she's talking about here, but she makes these really super broad points. I just want
difficult to capture. It will be up to historians to give it a proper name, but I think of it as a great unraveling. Close quote. What happened? What unraveled? And why now?
Whew. It's hard to give that a short answer, but
see, she thinks something has unraveled, and this is her mission in life to put it back together. And I'm trying to figure out what she's talking about.
I'll try. What has unraveled is the holiday from history that I think maybe all Americans were on in the post-war years.
Post-Cold War.
No, holiday from history.
Where's she from?
I don't know, actually.
She doesn't sound American.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be.
I think I
don't
know what she's talking about.
Well, I'll give it a little more, and then let's discuss this.
I would say post-World War II,
Oh,
really,
really?
and
All
the
right.
consensus that sort of developed about America, about our role in the world, about our fundamental goodness, about whether or not American power was fundamentally a source for good or ill in the world, about America as a place of expanding opportunity and expanding freedom. You yourself have had a hand in writing some of the lines that I'm thinking of as I say this.
Right. We could have used you in the speechwriting shop 40 years ago, had you been born.
That whole worldview, I think, is under siege and maybe has even collapsed. And the question about when that began to collapse is not one that I can answer, because I think we're, as I said there, we're in the midst of the unraveling.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say is that the elite that sort of controls the sense-making institutions in this country, you know, from which lots of things sort of trickle down. I'm talking about our newspapers, our Hollywood studios, our publishing houses, our universities. They no longer uphold that broad view of the world.
So you can see why, you know, Ellison wanted her to run CBS. It's one of those sense-making. She has a knack for phrases. I'll give you a holiday from history, sense-making institutions. I guess CBS is one of those, which is why she's dismantling it. So anyway, take it away, Jamie. What the hell is she talking about?
Okay. What I'm thinking she's talking about is, remember in the 1950s with the whole growth of anti-communism and the various TV stations and movies and everything were projecting this whole image of America the beautiful and patriotic and what have you. And because of all of the communist witch hunts and everything that went on, you developed two streams of thought about American history. One, because coming out of World War II, we were practically the only thing standing. Everything else around the world had been destroyed. So we had the whole market cornered of all the markets. And then when that started coming down, as more and more places in the world got back on their feet and started trading, then we got the United Nations, because now we had this alliance group of developed nations as opposed to the undeveloped ones. And everything since roughly 1950 has been this ongoing argument between who is going to control the story of what America is. And you had your right and left wings, both of them want to control it. You had your right and left media, both of them wanting to control it. And we've been at war with ourselves now for going on 70 years.
And she's aggravating the war with what she's doing.
She's trying to get on both sides of the fence, and it's one argument that you can't be on both sides of. You are either for individual freedom or you are for group control, and you can't have it both ways.
Here's our pal from the day or two ago. Stuart is back. Stuart Gorham. I would never call you an asshole. It's a critical sphincter.
It is rather necessary.
Thank you.
Well,
Stuart.
it prevents messes.
Stuart, you really need to come visit us on Trail Mix. Trust us. The natives are friendly.
I'll put up the address again. I actually made one special for Stuart right there. Trailmix.cc. Stuart. Anyway.
Well, I did a quick look up to see where Barry Weiss was from, and she's from Pittsburgh.
Really?
Yeah, she doesn't sound like it. I think she has deliberately done away with her Western Pennsylvania accent.
Didn't she inherit some position from her husband or something when she married to somebody that gave her a boost?
I know she was at New York Times at one point and then left in a famous huff over some ideological dispute she had with them and started this conservative media outfit that Ellison bought for $150 million before he gave her this CBS job. That's the extent of what I know about it.
Well, it looks like they're going to do a good job of tearing down CBS as a news organization.
Yeah.
You know, I think that just, it's the whole thing with all of these mega people and all of their rich, overpriced supporters. It's just how stupid can you be? And you know, once they get out of, like with Ellison, he's out of his league and he doesn't even understand what he's doing.
Oh, and Stuart answers us here. I've been really busy with Christmas parties. That's understandable the last few days and have been on. So, all right, we'll give Stuart a holiday break if he.
Yeah, see you after the New Year's. See you after the New Year's, Stuart.
Yeah, Stuart, it's nice to see somebody that has a life. You know, that's why we're here. We don't have parties.
Right. Well, you know, I used to work for CBS. I got hired as an anchor buddy for Bryant Gumbel on the morning show, and Bryant's the one that wanted me, and they hired me. And anyway, I ended up, and then he left, and I went through. There were a couple other hosts of that morning show, but so I was there about a total of 4 years, and I really got an understanding of that. There is an inside culture at CBS. I consider, admirable. I mean, they're real journalists there. I mean, I've worked for other networks too, and I won't denigrate anybody, but I will say the people I saw at CBS, inside CBS, at pretty much all levels underneath the executive, that's another story, but we're actual honest to God journalists, and more so than I thought at other networks. And so I can see why it's just so horrible for the inside the company, that this is all happening. It's kind of like a church just having all their dogma. Oh, what do we got from Stuart?
When you were there, Craig, when it was still the era where there were people who had actually wrote stories for newspapers that were working there. Sure, yeah, that's where they got their training.
Well, I had very little TV experience myself. When I got, the story was I got, they asked me to go up to New York and go on set with Bryant Gumbel one morning I know what it was. It was right after Bush's debate with Kerry. Was it Kerry or who'd Bush run against the first time? No, I guess it was the first time. No, Gore. Yeah. And anyway, so we had a segment about that debate, and then right at the end of and this is something Bryant was prone to do. He had his opinions now, and when we went to break, we had a real discussion, and he says, "So tell me, is Bush an idiot or not?" And I wasn't sure if we were still on the air. I thought surely because we had just finished, and go, but it turned out that was not on the air. And we had a little discussion. And anyway, I didn't think a whole lot of the whole experience. I mean, it was kind of cool, but I learned that they were actually auditioning people to be a permanent what they call anchor buddy to Bryant, and the Washington bureau chief told me that after my segment with him, I was like the third or fourth person that she got an email for Bryant. She said that just said, "I want him." So that's how I got hired, kind of accidentally.
This is fascinating.
So you came this close to having your picture up on the wall next to Walter Cronkite, huh?
Yeah, right.
I'm reading Weiss's wiki page.
Oh, yeah.
She's really fascinating. You know, where she changed. She had her bat mitzvah. She went to Israel. She built hospitals in the Negev. You know, truly fascinating woman. But she got into a brouhaha with the New York Times, and
that's what I remember.
And her quote from where she says she accused her former employee of unlawful discrimination, hostile work environment, and constructive discharge, and caving to the whims of her critics. And in her letter, she wrote, "Stories are chosen and told in a way to satisfy the narrowest of audiences, rather than to allow a curious public to read about the world and then draw their own conclusions." Well, isn't that what she did? She killed the story rather than allow it to be seen by a wide audience.
Yeah, that's right. And this story was vetted by lawyers. She skipped all the screenings of this 60 Minutes story before she weighed in at the very end. I mean, there's nothing that supports her claims for what, legitimate, that this was a legitimate killing of a story.
Yeah, but then she was supported by Ted Cruz, Rubio, Loeffler, and Trump Jr., and Ben Shapiro, and then opposed by the Democratic left group. So, like I said, she's been walking every side of the fence there is.
Well, that's why for her, this is not political. This is purely, she likes her job. She likes what she does. She likes the connections and all of that. And to keep it, she has to do what her boss says. What was her option? Her option was to go out and start over again somewhere else. And she didn't want to do it.
Well, and I think in this case, they don't have to tell her. She knows what they want. That's often what happens is like there's a soft censorship.
Somebody told her.
Yeah.
At the last minute,
because it was so sudden. Yeah, because it was so sudden. Yeah, that's true.
Somebody got the word to her.
But isn't that what several people have been said about Trump? He doesn't tell you to do it himself. He lets it be known what he wants done.
Well, I think.
Well, to your point, Stir, this. I think they realize the administration. This whole mega prison in El Salvador thing. All right, they moved quickly. They gave El Salvador $6 billion to take these prisoners. They sent 250 Venezuelans down there in a hurry without due process. We got a judge yesterday saying it was all wrong. You got to do it over. Anyway, I think the administration realized this one was a bit of a blunder because they quit doing it. They've quit sending people there, is from what I've been able to tell. So they wanted this story gone, buried. And that, to what Stur's saying, I think they got wind 60 Minutes was doing this story and was getting into the details of everything they got wrong about it and just didn't want it told. And I think probably somebody at the White House, I'd say it might have come directly from somebody at the White House. Stephen Miller would be a possibility.
Somebody called Ellison. Ellison called her.
Yeah.
Is the way it worked.
Stuart is asking a question, and I think the answer to
Oh.
that is probably Johnny Carson is where you would have to go back to. While he did do some political commentary, it was never harsh. Since him,
Well,
Oh.
unless you were
more and more.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Well, he's making the point that also that this whole idea that that people like Hegseth, they have to be TV stars to do big jobs like that. That's what I take from Stuart's point also. Yeah.
But remember the days when the couch had, instead of being a comedy routine leading into a single guest, you used to get a light comedy construction, and then like 3 or 4 guests that actually talk to each other.
Yeah, and have you ever seen? I got into Jack Parr one time on YouTube, and you know how YouTube is. I watched a couple of Jack Parr tapes, and then they showed me 50 with their algorithm, and I ended up watching a whole bunch. Man, when he did the Tonight Show, it was kind of intellectual. I mean,
it
Yes.
was great.
Very
he
much
would have
so.
Gore Vidal on, and yeah.
Yeah, he's got good
And
books
then
too.
who was
Jack
the other
Parr
big
wrote
one
a few
who's
books.
still alive? And he's on.
I
Oh
think
shoot!
so.
Now I can't think of his name, but very intellectual, very entertaining.
Dick Cavett.
Dick Cavett. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. See, between the 4 of us, we have good word retention. It's a team effort.
That's
what I said about
when
my
my
son and
family
I
and sisters
talking
get
to each
together.
other. Our conversations are frequently fill in the blank.
But now you said you read a Jack Parr book. I didn't know.
Yeah,
he
he's
wrote a
written
book.
several books. One of them it had a section on Nixon. They were at a vacation in the Bahamas or somewhere, and he wrote about Nixon and what he was like.
Huh.
I don't know where the book is now, but
Well, and
he had a good eye. Jack did.
Yeah, I think he just had a kind of a erratic personality. It was hard for him to stay in the chains of a nightly show with strict formulas and all that kind of stuff. But that show
he's
is
got a
it's
book
worth
called-
getting on YouTube to see his old shows.
Yeah.
Well, you got to go back to, he was in the very first stages. It's kind of like you are with your video here, where you get to play.
Yeah.
They haven't put their
Right.
format together.
Then I started making rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has at least 3 book titles on Amazon. I think the first is I Kid You Not.
But he's still alive, you're saying?
No,
don't
Dick
think Jack
Cavett is
is.
still alive.
Jack Parr?
No, Dick Cavett.
Oh, Jack, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another one I got started on YouTube with. I mean, YouTube can just really waste your time, you know, because I watched a couple of Dick Cavett's, and then for a week, YouTube was like, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one.
Oh, God, yes.
And I ended up binging on Dick Cavett for a solid week because YouTube kept throwing me the videos.
Did they
Yeah,
have
Jack
the
Parr.
episode with Don Adams?
No, with Dick Cavett.
Yeah, he tells the funniest show business story ever told.
Oh, well, do tell.
Yeah, I mean, he killed it. It was
Yeah.
when he auditioned for Mae West.
Hey, West.
For
Oh,
her
Don
traveling
Adams.
show.
You talk about Don Adams of Get Smart?
Oh yeah, Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't know what I think.
And the band made him smoke a cigar because he didn't like what he did the first set. It's hilarious.
And that was with Dick Cavett.
Yeah, that was Cavett.
Yeah,
I think
Dick
I
Cavett
tended to
is still
focus on all the really famous people that he had on.
Yeah, Dick Cavett is still alive. He's 89. Parr died in 2004.
Mm.
And of course,
Oh, really?
Carson is deceased as well.
Steve Allen's gone.
Stuart, I love joking around with the best of them, but I just think we need some serious people in charge of this current mess. Yeah, you think? King Solomon said it best. There is a time for everything under the sun.
Yes.
Well, I would just like to have some of them that have 3 brain cells. You know?
Or
well, I was thinking about yesterday with this whole Ukraine stuff is, I mean, one of the big problems I see is that, you know, start with Trump, who, even though he has a lot of history with Putin, it's not very useful history, and Hegseth and even Rubio, who was chairman of foreign relations, but and then Witkoff, and none of these people have history with Putin directly, and that's part of the problem with how we're dealing with Ukraine these days. Is their naivete at thinking that they can negotiate with Putin. I mean, we need some people in there who've been around Putin for 20 years and know that he's just lying, that he's not about to negotiate a peace deal, and quit expecting it.
The strong do what they can.
I think I was reading something the other day on the thing. Is like what is the Weisskopf or
Witkoff?
Witkoff, yeah.
Witkoff, yeah.
But all his experience is that he's another billionaire that knows Russian billionaires.
Yeah.
And so the Russian billionaire calls him up, and they set up, I can't remember what it was. They were talking about one of these deals that the whole thing was the billionaire sitting down and dividing the world up.
Yeah.
Well, that's that's right up their alley.
Mm-hmm.
When you get that much money, what are you going to do with it?
Well, they're just
rule the world.
With Putin. I mean, that's what gets me is Putin just he pretends to negotiate just to buy time to keep on killing. Keep on. I mean, he had one of his biggest attacks yesterday in like a dozen different places in Ukraine, and he just keeps stringing Trump and his gang along that he's going to make a peace deal when he has no intention of doing that.
It's the old Viet Cong strategy, remember? As long as they keep fighting, pretty soon the United States will say, never mind.
Well, that's one thing I've learned from the Ken Burns Revolutionary War series. That was basically George Washington's strategy.
Yeah, that was it until
he was a master of retreat. He'd attack.
If you want to read some really good material from someone kind of unexpected, Gary Hart has become the foreign policy person that virtually all of the people who really want to know what's going on go to. And he's written a couple of great books, but that has become his role since failing at the presidency, is to be thoroughly well-versed in foreign policy. And his 2 major books are Restoration of the Republic and The American Republic Can Save American Democracy. They're both well worth reading.
I'd forgotten about Gary Hart. That's funny that you don't see him anywhere anytime.
No, he's elderly now. He stays pretty much. You don't get to see too much what happened to him, but the movie that was made about him, the runner, no, what was it called? The Runner Up or something like that, starring Hugh Jackman. But that's about the scandal before everything, before he went quiet and just took up books and advisory roles as a. If you look on his wiki, there's a lot of material about what he's been doing ever since then, and he's a fascinating man.
Yeah, I always thought he was a very interesting guy that could have had a lot to offer, but we just kind of threw him out.
Yeah.
And Rebellious Renee's weighed in with a meme just now on Trail Mix. She tried to get on here the other day. I asked her to tell me if I could help. She had trouble. She tried to get on here a couple of times, but didn't get through.
Your typing is all over it. Can't really see the image.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your
let's see.
caption is too high.
Oh, are you on a phone or are you on a desktop?
I'm on a desktop on a computer, and when you speak and the caption that says what you just said, it's right in the middle of the image.
Oh, you've got your captions on. Oh, that's what's going on. There's got to be some way for you to. Does anybody else have captions?
No.
No. See, that's something you can control somewhere, although I don't know where.
Me either. But I run into that problem with WordPress all the time.
I do on YouTube. A lot of these sites, they keep defaulting you back to turning your captions on when you don't want them on, which is very aggravating. And I thought it might have been the comments here.
Oh, it's shocking to think a man would ruin his career because of a woman. That's from Stewart.
Yeah.
Well, it was the reporters following him around who ruined his career.
Which he told him to do. He said when he denied all that, he said, "Just follow me around, and you'll see I'm not doing these things." So they took him up on it, and
then he was stupid enough to do it again.
Yeah, it was two Miami Herald reporters, and they hung out at his townhouse on Capitol Hill, and sure enough, they saw this woman coming out at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and found out.
I mean, that basically disqualified him right there from presidency. You can't be that stupid or that arrogant and be president.
Except that many had before him. It's just the media didn't tell. They decided with him, since he challenged them, that they would tell.
Stupid and arrogant is the program now.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, Kennedy had umpteen zillion ones he was involved with, and nobody ever told on him. With Hart, they told on him.
Yeah, that's what changed for Trump. I mean, for Hart and for Clinton, is they thought they were living under the old Kennedy rules with the media, and those rules changed.
Kennedy used to have a whole lot of fun in that swimming pool that once upon a time was in the White House.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he is more arrogant, and now he gets away with it.
I'm not for sure any of the presidency from Roosevelt to maybe Reagan could, except for Truman, could even survive in today's media world. I mean,
I
I
agree
know
with
Johnson
you.
couldn't,
Yeah.
and Kennedy they'd have got Kennedy too, and Roosevelt the same way. They all had their women on the side and their crudities and their things.
Oh, Blue in Dallas just reminded me of something here. She's talking about she watched the 60 Minutes link here on the trail yesterday. This is some of it I've seen before, maybe on PBS. That reminds me, Frontline actually did do. I'd stopped at a point where they did do something on this El Salvador mega prison.
The Americas.
Right here.
Infamous for its harsh conditions.
So that what they were saying there is, yeah. So there were 230. Actually, by the time this was done in a couple of weeks ago, by the time 60 Minutes did a story, it's more like 270. See, they just rounded up all these Venezuelans, and in some cases they just identified them by tattoos that had nothing to do with gangs. But if they had a tattoo, they assumed that meant they were in a Venezuelan gang and rounded them up and sent them to El Salvador. But this PBS, this Frontline is pretty good. I recommend that. I won't play any more, much more of it, but
you were right, Stuart. I gotta go, gang. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, is Stuart leaving us?
No, I am.
Oh, you are. I guess so, but I still believe humility is a bad. Okay. Yeah, we've been at it an hour and 10 minutes. I try to keep it under 90 minutes because my shorts generator, my AI shorts generator, if I feed more than an hour and a half to it, it can't handle making 30-second shorts out of our videos. So, which isn't a big deal. So one day we did. I think it was when I went to the protest up on in DC, the big one, and I think we did a 4-hour live stream.
Well, I remember you and I sat there and talked for a couple hours one day.
I know. When I was walking back home.
Yeah.
That was, and I fed that to the AI, and they're like, no, not going to happen. We ain't looking at this one.
That's it. You can't tell the AI to buck it up and get busy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think that's going to be the problem we've got, is that AI is just going to make it worse from what the computers do anyway. Is that AI is going to go, well, here's how you get along with us.
Yeah. Give us the rules. I mean, right now I give it the protocols. I tell it what I want it. You want it to be. Yeah, you're right. They're pretty soon it's going to be telling us the rules.
Well, basically, once you got a computer, you had to change your point of view to how the computer wanted to think. And they never quite got it to where it is a helpful mate. It's just unless you do it the way they like it.
Now, Stuart is saying your flux capacitor is weakening. Capacitor, your flux. I like that word, but I don't know what it means. I like that phrase, flux capacitor. That's kind of a fun phrase to say, flux capacitor.
Well, I know capacitor has something to do with electronics.
Yeah.
And I think energy storage of some kind. And flux sounds like it ought to be part of that too. So
yeah,
maybe, I'm not for sure whether we're too crazy or not crazy enough?
Well, I studied capacitors once in electronics school, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, I've heard of capacitors, but flux. What is a flux?
I know if you turn them around backwards in the model, the test model, they'll explode.
Oh, Stuart is explaining. Is this your explanation for flux capacitor, Stuart? Is Marty McFly wisdom from the movie Back to the Future? So was that was a, I have a break. I have a job to do. David's working today. His office is right outside my door there, but I have the printer, and my job is when he prints out something for his work, I deliver the print. I deliver it. And so
all right. David's one lucky person.
Yeah. That's my job. I did my job for the day. I call myself step and fetch it. I'm step and fetch it when I get to
yeah. Well, that's the thing. Yeah. As long as you take up space there,
Yeah.
So are you occupying his office for this, or is everything set up in your world?
We each have on this floor. He has an office right next to this one. These are 2 bedrooms that we turn to offices. So we each have one, except that I got the bigger one because when we first moved in, I was working full time and working and wrote books in here. But now that I'm retired and just playing, and he's the one actually making money, he's still stuck with the smaller office. So, but it's big enough.
You were the one that used to need the printer, and now he's the one.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Oh, Stuart's signing off. Let's see. Need to go pick up my fishing boat. Fishing boat? You go from the shop. Hate to leave good company. We need to fish more. Well, I'm all for fishing. I haven't done that in a long time. Stuart, we always like to see you. And as we keep saying, go over there to trailmix.cc and hop on with the gang there. We would love talking to you there. Pretty easy. Then you get some of Sturgeon's wisdom on. Sturgeon's a better writer than a talker.
Yeah.
And he's a damn good writer. I enjoy your writings. I mean, what you came up with, you had one yesterday that was so quick. What was it? Your play on words.
Orwellian.
Oh, that was it. That was it. Did you catch that one, Jack? He said, I will look at your link in the comments. I'm going to put it right here one more time, Stuart. I try to make it so easy. Yeah, what was it about Orwellian? What was that line?
You said it was something more than Orwellian or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just popped up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm starting to, this is my Christmas week. I try not to do any Christmas until the few days before Christmas.
Oh.
That was why I was getting. Yesterday, YouTube was throwing up the most interesting Christmas song.
Oh yeah, that what was that group that we got into yesterday that you put up what was it the
just I don't know. I put
the one I had
yeah,
I had
the one.
my AI. I fed it to AI and got the review.
Yeah. They were.
And Stir, you said you had opened for that group somewhere. What? Isn't that right?
Canned Heat.
Yeah, Canned Heat.
Yeah,
Canned Heat. Yes, that's it.
They had a go in what was it? With the San Francisco rock and roll people, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were.
Where they came out of. Yeah.
They just happened to be in the right place.
Yeah. And they had they were part of the concert there in New York.
Woodstock?
Yeah, Woodstock.
Well, now you said you had opened for them. Is that right, Stuart?
Yeah, we did on Folly Beach in 1970.
Huh.
They weren't very interested in us. They were pretty much interested in themselves. But
Really?
they were all right. It was, I noticed they were a lot like us.
Well, yeah, that song was pretty good. That Christmas song.
It was. I've got another one. I ran across it's called the Huron Carol or something like that, and it was written by a French missionary back in the early days of French settlement in Canada, and it was really interesting. I'm going to have to put it up. But yeah, YouTube yesterday was just coming up with. I added about 7 or 8 new songs to my Christmas list because they just kept throwing up interesting stuff.
Huh.
And that Canned Heat was one of them. And now some of the stuff are old ones that I've liked for years. But like
what's one that you'd want to? I want to before we quit here. I want to play one and see if YouTube blocks it once we got. Oh, here's the Christmas Boogie. Christmas Boogie. That's what you had played earlier, isn't it? Let's see. Let me find that.
Listen, everybody, what I gotta say. We're gonna celebrate Christmas, do it the candy way.
But yeah, that's the Canned Heat beat right there.
That's great.
And boogie on down. Gotta rock the new year.
Yeah, that's great. The minute I heard that yesterday when you put it on, it took me back to my days at going to Tipitina's.
Yeah.
I thought of Tipitina's when I listened to that. They'll play.
I always put kind of Canned Heat and Hot Tuna, and I don't know. There's several of them that they played better on FM than they never quite made top 40.
Yeah.
But they did quite well on the old FM progressive rock stations. But that's old folks nostalgia there. Remember back when?
Remember when?
Well, I mostly do. And if I don't, I make it up.
Yeah. I have a cousin that, well, that's one thing about when people start, friends and relatives, when you get old enough, they start dying off. Then you can just make up stories because they can't contradict it.
There you go.
Well, Burt Reynolds, he says at the end, there's nothing but stories.
Yeah. Of course, the thing on contradiction, I figured that one out a long time ago. You just look at the person and say, whose lie is this, yours or mine?
Who's beating this cat?
Well, I'll be curious to see if YouTube tries to. I want to see if we can play Canned Heat without a copyright violation, and I'm trying to figure out which artists I can play on here without YouTube slapping it down. I did find that what they did with Billy Joel is they flagged it, but then Billy Joel's company allows its use. But then, and so it's fine. I can play Billy Joel, but they still flag it, but I wondered if this had anything to do with Billy Joel's company making this choice. The only but it can't. They block it in Russia. In the copyright thing I got from YouTube, it showed that it had limited viewing, and I thought, well, why? And I looked, and the only country where it couldn't be seen was in Russia. Billy Joel music. I wonder why
that was a legal thing, or
I'd like to learn more about how those things. I'm curious about those things.
Yeah.
But I'm finding anything like I played some Jimmy Kimmel one time. Boy, ABC shot that down. I had to delete all of that. You can't play anything from the networks, ABC, CBS, any of them.
Yeah. You can't even do a basic fair use without even doing it.
Well, I think we've about done it for today.
Somebody's making margarita.
Yeah. I think we'll just head on out with the margarita serenade. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Take care.
Okay, I'm Lady Mau Mau, Craig's built-in emergency brake. If this wasn't enough for you, sign up for the newsletter. It's free, it's thoughtful, and it occasionally makes sense.